Welcome to Read the Book First. Today we're going to be talking about Birding with Benefits by Sarah T. Dubb. And today's a special episode because we got not one, but two of my closest bird nerd friends. We have Marissa,
Hi.
yes, and then also Delaney.
Hello.
I am so excited that we're talking about this because I randomly went through Barnes& and Noble one day and picked up this book because I thought it looked dumb. And as someone who is not a birder, but who's surrounded by them on purpose and on accident, um, which
Blame
one's which?
Isaac. That's all on Isaac, baby.
I was like, I gotta read this romance book. And so I read it, this is like a year or so ago. And then it got made into a Hallmark movie, which I'm so excited to watch because it's gonna be so bad. And so we had to do it at the pod. And so of course I had to ask you too, because who else would I have on the pod to talk about birds? Isaac? Ew.
He doesn't even, okay. He's like barely a birder, okay?
You can't ask your birder with benefits to do, it's a conflict of interest.
Anyways, the premise of this book is there's a lady and she meets a birder and they have a friends with benefit situation in the birding scene, kind of, and it's a romance book and it's cheesy. And I have read it twice now, and I will say reading it the second time, I liked it a lot less. But I still had a fun time reading it. I know that's not everyone's thoughts that's on the podcast, and that's okay. But
who could be the negative Nancy here?
Who classically has strong opinions on the podcast. But I also know reading this is someone it has a lot to do with birding, which I know so little on, especially for how many birders are in my life. I just know so little. And also it has to do in the world-ish of a version of grad school, which again, as far as how many people are in grad school, I purposely know very little because I don't want to know anything about that world. And I
clarify that Janessa did get her graduate degree before any of us.
I was like, you have a master's degree.
Okay, a year program in Alaska about teaching is not grad school.
You have a master's degree. Janessa,
yes.
I'm going to beat you up next time I see you.
Do it. I dare you. I've been carrying Nori around the house and she's 60 pounds. I'm yoked now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh.
Anyways, so I think reading this, I kind of have a brain off, just having a good time vibes feeling about it, which I think when I was rereading it, I was like, oh, yeah, definitely. I had a brain off, good time vibes approach.
It's not that serious. It's a fun read.
It's a read. It's a fun
Hard
read. Yeah.
Disagree from Marissa. I did not have fun reading this. It was physically painful to finish.
I will say my number one complaint is there just were not enough birds. There weren't enough birds.
Thank you.
See, when I was rereading it, I was like, there's more birds than I remember.
The main complaint that I fucking have about the
I didn't count the number of specific species listed, but it wasn't very many. It was and just general sparrow.
Yeah.
What kind of sparrow?
I did see that she just kept saying sparrow and not what kind. And I know that because at one time Isaac didn't know what a house sparrow was. Remember that one time?
No, he didn't know what a barn swallow was.
Barn swallow, whatever that was.
Because he's a CIA agent. I'm just saying, the cover of being a bird.
Yeah. Oh, really? You're just walking around with binoculars and you don't know what a barn swallow is?
Suspicious.
Yeah, weird cover.
In Virginia, no less.
That's true.
I'm just saying.
Our main character, Celeste, which, side note, I don't like the name.
Well, that's crazy because I don't like Celeste. So.
Yeah. Celeste is a divorcee in her 40s, single mom who is really trying to just find a purpose in herself again and give herself, she says, to bloom a lot, which is a phrase she uses a lot. and she canonically puts a bunch of things on her mirror and sticky notes and reading this, I was like, I'm equally horrified by this, but also because this is something I would do. Mm.
There's no way Celeste doesn't have a bookshelf full of self-help books, which are
Mhm.
all the same. They're all the same.
Mhm. Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. She's also an English teacher. And I will say, the one thing that really got me about Celeste is single book or story she talked in reference to about talking with her students are not appropriate for middle school students.
Okay, great. I'm glad you brought this up because there's a
Yeah.
point where she's talking about Emily Dickinson.
Well,
And I
you
was
can
like,
read some Emily Dickinson poetry. That's easy poetry to read to
is it
kids.
okay? I don't
Yeah,
know.
like
I don't
the
know. I
Emily Dickinson
purposely
of
avoid children.
well, that's fair. Emily Dickinson, and I just read an Emily Dickinson poem with my students this last week. So I'm like, it's because she uses smaller words and it sometimes rhymes and they're small poems.
I
So
see.
yeah, it's an easy, we're going to talk about this for 20-minute poem. Anyways, she talks about like a lot of Shakespeare, which you can do some Shakespeare in middle school, but like not the ones she was talking about, and like some novels that I just wouldn't be appropriate for middle schoolers because there's like extreme death and like sex and stuff, and I'm like, eee. But anyways,
This ties into a bigger issue that I had with this book is that the author did not seem to research anything. And I had questioned, I'm glad Delaney's here. Delaney runs a successful small business. I'm glad Janessa's here. Janessa's a teacher. I'm glad I'm here. I know a lot of competitive birders. I'm sure Delaney does too. There seemed to be literally no research into any one of these specialties
mhm.
that she focuses on a lot.
Yeah. It was just, again, it's a very shallow, like, no brain, just vibes kind of book, which was just a nice chill read unless you're thinking hard about things. But as soon as you try to think hard about things, it falls apart.
I have one mode,
I know.
and that is thinking hard.
And that's why you went to what Janessa calls real grad school.
Oh,
Grad school.
okay.
Not saying that master's programs aren't real grad school. I'm saying my master's program.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that just for clarification. But anyways, she gets set up and agrees to go and what she thinks is to be a fake girlfriend for this guy. She does not know what's burning. She does not know much about him besides that he will be at this park. And she's like, okay, I'll go to this park. And what's his name? It's something for John.
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 Oh.
John. I will say I liked the description. I think this came from his friend. There's like a quiet, sweet guy with a beard straight out of an LL Bean catalog. The kind of guy that will stop traffic to help a tourist cross a road, then go home and build you a table. I was like, first of all, is that my type?
Yeah.
But also I was like, first this immediately I was like, if I didn't know this was written by a woman, like like this is such an oddly specific description.
Just, knowing your husband, I would say it is kind of your type.
It is kind of my type.
Yeah, it is.
But he shops at Eddie Bauer, R.I.P.
Yes,
But
he's not a LL Bean. That's because no, yeah, because LL Bean is for people that don't actually go outside.
right, exactly.
Yeah. Or if you live in Maine, that's the one exception.
Or if you live in Maine, yeah.
Yeah.
So.
He is definitely like a man written by women for women, but also like he kind of is just there a lot of the book, you know? And it's just like, okay, there he is again. Is he gonna have a thought this time? Oh,
No, the answer is
no thoughts.
no.
No thoughts,
He will
just
have no
vibes.
thoughts.
yeah. But he can name birds, maybe, and he can build tables, supposedly.
Allegedly.
And
he's not like outwardly like misogynistic, so he's better than most men.
Oh God, the bar is in hell. God, the bar is in hell.
I did feel that way throughout this book. Like her description of men, I was like, oh, that's nice. And then I was like, is the bar just really low? Like, just they're like using consent and like I don't know this kind of. I'm like, that shouldn't be like a impressive thing.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. This is the first romance book in a while I've read by someone who is of the age range the character is. Because usually got like lots of romance books are written by older women. Like that's just part of the genre, but they're always like about often about younger women. But this is like obviously written by a someone who has gone through divorce about someone going through the divorce, but in a very like rose-colored glasses kind of girly pop
Mhm.
way. And usually I'm a fan of girly pop stuff in general, but this way I was like, their divorce sounded messy, but this character wasn't messy enough in the good way. She was messy in all the ways. I was like, not quite there. But
So
I do,
they're both so immature. It
yes.
disgusts me. Like you're in your 40s and you're acting this way. Oh, please save me from this fate, please. Yeah, that's yep. The characterization of I to be clear, I've never written a book, obviously, but I just hope this author gets a little bit stronger grasp on her characterization as she writes more books.
Hmm.
Because for me, these characters were all over the place. Like Celeste is a manic pixie dream girl, and she's really confident, but also she's not confident at all. And also she's really communicative. Oh, but except she's not at all.
Hmm.
And also, yeah, it's just like, and then
Yeah.
John, I don't even.
Each character seemed like it was from a different book.
And sometimes the same character, depending on the chapter, seemed it was like it was a different character from a different book.
I also just like the idea, just starting off is like, oh, I'm going to show up and be this guy's fake girlfriend and not knowing like what, I don't know. It doesn't seem plausible to me that you would just like not ask enough questions to
To show up
know,
to a park.
to show up to a park. Like, why would the ex-girlfriend be at the park? That's a question.
Yeah. Yeah. She knew nothing
Also,
about the
bad
birding.
friend.
Uh-huh.
Chris, he first of all, he is a bad person. And I will stand by this. I have notes on why he is a bad person. And he's a terrible fucking friend to John.
Mhm.
Like, and also, I'm sorry, he's bad at his job. I asked Dana Hawley, my PhD advisor, about this, about several aspects of Chris's academic career. And she was
The
like, this
mollusks.
would never get tenure. Okay? Never.
But the mollusks, the
And,
snails, they're breeding.
and you already did more research than the author there, so.
Yeah.
By reaching out to an expert in getting tenure.
Wild.
Not me, notably.
Yeah. The intro, the like meet cute of it all is a fun idea. It's not executed well because I feel like again, the first like three chapters are different than the next three chapters are different than the next three like it's different. Like it's just very obvious this is her debut novel. I do have her next novel because the author is a cool person. Her writing's not great. So we'll see. I'll let you guys know. The next one's about bees. I'll let you know.
You don't have to let me know.
Okay.
I think
I'll
I'm
let
out
you let
on
you
her.
know.
That's okay. I hope her writing improves,
Yeah.
and it's brave to put yourself out there.
Yeah. Hey, she getting paid.
That's right,
So,
girl.
yeah. Psh.
Her book
Uh
got optioned,
yeah.
so
Yeah. Exactly. Um the birding competition. So they get set up. There's a whole miscommunication. He thinks it's just going to be someone being a birding partner, ends up being someone who was expected to be a fake girlfriend. So he kind of gets forced into falling into, which is a little bit weird for me, TBH, that he was just like, I guess I'll hold your hand. Like, you're gonna hold a stranger's hand. That's
that's
at a
what I'm
park.
saying. Like his ex-girlfriend shows up and they're
Yeah.
all over each other, I would be
Yeah.
like, "Do not touch me."
Yeah. Weird. Yeah. But the premise, very fun idea. But then I was thinking about this birding competition. So in the book, it is 42 days, and they have to count as many birds as they can that are like known to be local, like they can't make stuff up. Um,
Mhm.
is this a real thing? Because I know like one day counts. Like I've been on a big day.
Thank you for asking, Janessa. I'm so glad you brought this up. This premise is nonsense. Sorry. It's complete fucking nonsense. Not the time period like that. I mean, the like 42 days is so kind of random, but whatever.
Yeah, it seems biblical almost. The number gives Bible. I don't know why. It just does. 42 is a biblical number to me.
42 is like it's like a Hitchhiker's Guide thing.
I mean, that
That's
as
what I
well.
always think
Yeah,
of.
Yeah.
but I
But
don't know.
okay, so first of all, it's not clear that it's a regional competition. So I'm thinking, you live in Arizona, one of the most habitat diverse states in the United States. It's crazy the number of birds you can get there.
Mhm.
And they're like staying in local parks and they're doing backyard birding. And I was like, are you even fucking trying to win this competition? What's going on here?
It
Also,
is like a long period of time, and also I feel like the bird count is exceptionally low for that long of a time.
it's so low. It's crazy. So I did some research. That's right, folks. I did more research again than the author did. So even if this was a local, let me finish my first point and then I'll tell you about my research. So so it's a regional competition, but the winner gets like a lone spread in the whole Arizona Birding magazine. But the winner is just for this regional competition. It does not make any sense. They also like get the reward from the whole Arizona. So you're telling me it's only in this, it'd be a county. That's how birders separate everything. So where Tucson is, that's Pima County. So you're telling me it's just people in Pima County that go, and you're only going on weekends. You ever met any birders? Hardcore birders? That's not happening. There's not enough old people. You're only going out at 7 during migration? I'm sorry. Do we forget that owls exist? Hello?
Who?
Thank you, girl. That's right. Owl representation. Okay, so I did some research because the winning number, spoiler alert, they don't fucking win the competition. But the winners, they get like 169 species in 42 days. This number, as Delaney has wisely pointed out, is so low as to be insulting to me personally. And the winners get like 178, way too low. So I looked it up just in Pima County. So assuming that the premise of this is not completely ridiculous and it is just a regional competition, in Pima County, just in the months of January and February, there was 250 species, individual species of birds identified and listed on eBird. That's in January and February. This competition is taking place during migration, which is the highest number of bird species you are going to get because you're going to get residents that are going to migrate north, residents that are there all year, and then birds that are coming up from the south. I looked again, further research. On Big Day, which is smack dab in the middle of migration, it's like a huge, like Cornell lab ornithology thing. And a bunch of birds go out and you try to see as many species as you can in one single 24-hour period. On Big Day last year, which again would take place right in the middle of this competition, ostensibly, there was 198 species identified just on one day. One day. And that was only in Pima County. Riddle me this.
Well, like I've birded in Arizona, not in Tucson, which is arguably better, but at my husband's dad's house, sitting in the backyard, we got like 20 species, and we're not that good at birding in Arizona, right? Like
Right.
it's new environment for us. We don't know like the call of the bird, like we're not familiar. And we were able to get that many just sitting in the backyard. I mean, granted, he has like a really good backyard and he has like fruit and stuff out and whatever, but still, I felt the whole time reading it, I'm like, you guys are not getting enough birds. And I know you're distracted later on, but even early, they're
Yeah.
like, I don't think he's I don't think he's very good.
Yes, and
Yeah,
another
he makes the whole point. He's like, we're only going to count the birds that you see. And I'm like, then you don't care about winning. Because, like,
and
as someone who doesn't know birds,
the premise is that he, for his small business,
Mhm.
then you don't care about your business.
Well, but that's also maybe part of the thing is that he has this like, oh, I'm gonna start the business, but he's actually like too scared to get started or something. So maybe he's intentionally sabotaging himself.
I mean,
Maybe.
But
that's his whole like thing is that he's just too scared to do any of it. But I just
yes.
think it's silly that like why are you even doing this competition if you are not taking it seriously because you just wanted this like cute girl. Apparently, I'm assuming he thinks she's cute from what they do later on in the book. Like because she's paying attention and like as someone who's been has gone chosen to go on big day birding and also just like got dragged along for the first few. Like it is so boring that you eventually look at birds. Um
How dare you?
well, at first it's really funny to watch the birders watch birds because y'all are hilarious. You just all stand there and suddenly y'all whip your heads down and y'all look and you're like and then you start whistling and then you're like, oh, five over there. And then you go walk some more and then you do it again. And so it's really funny for about half an hour. And then you're like, oh, okay, let's actually, where are they looking? I don't see anything. Like, anyways, she in the Manic Pixie way has like Manic Pixie girl version of ADHD. And so I think she would actually try a bit more than she does in the beginning because I think she'd get bored of trying to talk to this man who is not talking because he's a birder and birders don't talk when they're birding. It just, in that way, doesn't make sense. But again, I barely know anything about birds and birding, only because it's been the last 5, 6 years of Virginia that I've now know some birds, unless
And
they're
to
brown,
her
then I don't know what they
credit,
are.
he is, to start off, he's horrible at teaching. I,
Yes.
it actually, I mean, Delaney, I'm sure you also identify with this, taking people out who maybe don't know any birds at all. This is how I made my money in grad school,
Yeah.
basically, was TAing for ornithology. And it's just like the very first day, they like see a house sparrow and he like points it out and everything. And then he sees a vermilion flycatcher, which is a
Oh,
bright red bird.
you can't miss it.
You cannot miss it. And they're flycatchers, so they're always out and like moving around
They're
and
like,
in the open. Yeah. And he's like, nah, I won't point it out.
it's
It's
like,
like, oh
we'll see
yeah,
another one. It's fine.
right. It's like, oh, because new birders notoriously hate brightly colored birds that are out in the open, easy to spot, move around.
As
That
someone who
wasn't
knows what a
very,
cardinal is, because it's red, unless it's a female,
yes.
then I don't know what those are. But I'm not gonna lie, I was thinking about this when I was reading the book. I was like, because in the last couple years, I have recognized more birds just naturally. And I was like, is it because I was hanging out with birders? And I realized it's because I had a puzzle that had birds on it. And that's how I remembered birds is because I was looking for the pieces.
The why it's addicting is that
Mhm.
you learn one, you learn two, you keep like learning, you're like, oh, I know that. And then you see one you don't know and you're like, oh, who is that? And then you figure out who that is. And then it just keeps going and it's addicting.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. And
But
like you want to know. And like it's like, John, do you even care that other people know about birds? Because there's one, sorry, I sent Sarah like 1,000 voice notes while I was reading this. But there was one point where he was like, well, I'm not going to be able to teach as slow as I'd want to. If I wanted to, like, if I had my way, we would just go out and see what was around us and like learn about the stuff around us. And I was like, how can you learn what's around you if you don't know how to identify it? This makes no sense to me.
Well, I would also
Mhm.
be like pretty annoyed if I was trying to learn how to bird and I go out with someone that's like not pointing out birds to me, especially a vermilion flycatcher. That's rude.
It's rude. It's rude behavior. Yeah.
But yeah, but it's like, all right, like what do you see? I'm like, I don't know. I don't know birds. You know birds. Teach me birds. Like
Right.
I'll
It's not,
pick
I
it
know what
up.
a bird looks like.
Yeah.
Like my students could at least give me that is a bird and that is not a bird.
Yeah.
That's not interesting.
Yeah. It's I don't know. That
Yeah, I just wanted to like teach John how to teach people because he seemed to be getting a lot of input that he was really good at it, and I disagreed with that.
Uh-huh.
I fully support newbie birders getting into birding. Again, this was my whole career during grad school. However, this is the wrong setting.
Yes.
This is a hardcore birding competition.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And the irony of him being a bad teacher to teaching a teacher, like teachers know bad teachers right away. Like when people are trying to give any sort of talk, I'm like, you've never taught something in your life because this information does not make sense the way you're, yeah. Anyways, they end up making a deal. The whole plot of the book is that she's like, okay, I'll be your fake girlfriend and also help you bird so that you can get this small business kickoff going. They bird barely. There is some paleontologist shade on page 46, which I thought Marissa would enjoy. Um,
I notoriously hate. But
yeah. Um,
also that part don't make no sense either.
no,
They're
it
gonna
doesn't.
put a paleontology lab where a like a aquatics lab was.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I agreed. I was like,
This
people
was my
don't
first
care
Dana
about
Holly.
bones.
I was like, well, they even like the infrastructure would be all wrong,
Yeah.
right?
The pipes.
There'd be too many of them for
Yeah.
paleontology.
And then not
You don't
enough for
want
all the
that stuff to get
mollusks.
wet.
Yes. And then we find out the like history between John and his grad school friends. So John was in grad school, and at the time he was dating like the like star student scientist named Brina, who ended up kissing some genius birder, which cracked me up. Um, a little bit.
I find
I mean,
Brina to actually be a very realistic character.
I, no, definitely. Of all the science people I've met at science events, I was like, I've met some Brinas. Um, yeah. And then I've also met people who people think are geniuses and then therefore like them, and I'm like, but they're gross. Okay,
Oh,
interesting.
I got a
That
laundry
part,
list.
most realistic part of the whole grad school backstory was
Yeah,
Brina and the genius she kissed and etc. Chris was also their friend. I don't really get Chris's deal. I mean, he likes mollusks, but he doesn't work with slugs, so he works on the lamer mollusks. Anyways, he works with snails. They have to carry their homes with
He
them.
forced Chris to sign up for this birding
Yes.
competition. And then he abandons him because
Mm-hmm.
his snails have babies and he has to count them. I'm like, yo, I don't even need to text Dana. That's undergrad stuff.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I was also wondering about that because I'm just thinking how many snails and how long does this really take? And also, yeah, is that really what he's doing? I mean, unless it's just such an underfunded project that I I don't know.
I
That
th
just seemed like the
yeah.
lamest excuse.
I think
Undergrads are always chomping at the bit to get research experience, so there's zero chance he didn't have undergrads. Like
yeah.
at Virginia Tech, there's like undergrads that sift through sand to look for bird poop. This is a literal thing. So, yes, he had undergrads. I
Mm-hmm.
refuse to believe anything else.
I think he was just trying to set up John to get John to like stop being a grumpy man in a garage, kind of making tables. And uh and also Chris is written as kind of like a like charismatic like fuckboy. And I think he was just too busy flirting with everything. But you know, because like that's like that's how him and Celeste meet. They're at that like pottery paint and sip thing, and they're just like chatting away, ignoring their dates.
She did not have a date. To Celeste's credit, she just went there.
Yes,
He did have a date.
yes.
He ignored him the whole time because he wouldn't stop talking about seagrass. Bitch, I know you're talking about snails the whole time. Don't even try me. Do not try me. And then he like flirts with Celeste the whole time and then goes home with the pottery instructor. Chris, this is by representation that I do not stand by. Okay.
It feels like making bi people out to be the villain a little bit,
Yep.
which I think happens already.
Already.
Yes. Yes.
Exactly.
We don't need it.
Yes. Yeah. And so that whole like grad school scenario is like equally like very realistic with like the Brina and how Brina is treated and seen, and then the genius weirdo that ends up getting the hot successful woman somehow. Um that also makes sense from my observations of science grad school. Chris, wild character, weirdo. Uh, and then we have all the teachers because as they're doing their fake dating, Celeste takes John to the bowling thing. And let me just tell you, the cattiness of those teachers was not catty enough because the teachers that go on these social events, there's two types of teachers that go on these social events. There is me, who needs to go talk to people that do not live with them because otherwise I will go crazy. I'm just extroverted enough that I need to do that. And then there's the bitches. And so Celeste, I think, is more towards the me kind of teacher than the bitch in this scenario. But the teachers were not bitchy enough. They were not pushing and questioning them enough and calling out, and they weren't drunk enough because that's what happens when teachers go out.
Wow.
But we
I'm
also
glad you
forgot
clarified.
we forgot about Maria too, because we met her, right? Yeah.
Yes, we all love
The
Maria.
only redeemable character.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Maria's great.
I'm glad you clarified about the teachers because I was like, I was just like, Celeste, stand up for yourself. But if you're telling me that
That's yeah.
it's impossible or
Yeah.
not, it's like it's a lost battle, that
Mhm.
makes me feel better.
Yeah. So the bowling scenario, though it was like kind of like ridiculous in the way that they are like not making out, but also like whispering in ears, like just make out by now. Like ears are like, why are you whispering in ears? Just kiss. Like you're essentially there.
Kiss
Whatever.
already.
Kiss already. Me to any TV show I'm watching. But like that scenario would happen, and I have seen similar scenarios like that happen because of the bitchy teachers that go to these events, because there's more than two types of teachers out there, but those are the only two that actually go to events. Oh, there's the third, which is the admin that's forced to go because last time they got too drunk. Yes.
As a daughter of a teacher can confirm.
Yes. Yes, I can see your mom in many of this.
I'm not going to comment which one my mom is.
Me neither. Yeah, so like they're barely birding, hanging out sometimes. And also, halfway through the novel, they introduce that Celeste has a child who is about to graduate high school. And the first time I read this, I thought this part was a bigger part in the plot throughout the book. And then as I was rereading it, it really is mentioned like once in the middle and then at the very end when there needs to be a bigger conflict. Not that like teachers understand every single kid, because they don't, because people are human, but I feel like she would have a bigger grasp on what her daughter is actually going through. The fact that her daughter is in love with their longtime best friend slash ends up, we find out, is dating them. Well, and actually in love, not just one-sided. And also that she doesn't want to go to college. Like she would pick up on those things. But like I would hope she would, I guess I should say, because she doesn't. And that's when I'm like,
this is where
girl.
the problems with the characterization come into
Uh-huh.
play.
Uh-huh.
Especially with Morgan, who's her daughter, where it's like, I've never had a kid. I will never have a kid. I don't interact with teenagers other than my like former students. But first time we met Morgan and they talked about college, I was like, no, mm-mm. She either doesn't want to go or she got in somewhere else or come on, Celeste.
Yeah,
I have a hard time believing she's just that clueless about.
exactly.
This is it. And she's like, oh, we're so close. She's like, we're best friends. And I've made a note. I was like, uh-oh. Here we go.
It's like you can't have so much of Celeste's like personal trauma, her being that she put aside her whole life to be a stay-at-home mom and then eventually go back into teaching, but she was doing all of the like housework and that part of their partnership, which is like the huge reason, not the only reason, but the huge reason why they got divorced. You can't have that be like a huge cornerstone of her trauma and her whole plot and then her not pick up on the hints that her daughter is one, gay, and two, uh wants to not go to college. Like you'd have to pick up on at least one of those.
Or at the very least, like she doesn't want to go to NAU.
Yeah, which I wouldn't either, girl.
I don't know. I like Flagstaff.
Okay, I just don't like Flagstaff because every kid that I went to high school with that went to Flagstaff, I didn't like.
Well, you can't blame Flagstaff for that, okay?
Yeah, I can.
They just wanted nicer weather, you know? Like they just that's all it was.
But it's also a big partying school. And like, yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. But anyways.
A lot of Arizona schools.
What else are you going to do in Arizona? You're going to bird or party?
Yes. They could actually bird.
Actually bird.
Novel idea.
Yeah. Just so like that whole conflict, I think felt weak. Like I was fine being like, okay, Celeste's silly, goofy, millennial, like woman, divorcee, cool, whatever. John's a lumberjack, and I guess he has some personality traits, kind of likes birds, supposedly. Cool. I was fine with that, but then they add in the mess of the whole conflict of the daughter, and I was like, okay, this is 3 different books. And they're all not doing enough. But also, this is a ridiculous premise, and I'm having a silly time.
And we're at chapter 13, as I have this in my notes, and we only have 67 birds. I don't know how many days this is in.
19 days. I wrote down the days.
Okay, like, again, I'm not that good of a birder. I don't know the birds that well in Arizona, but if I had that many days, I don't know. In Tucson?
It's not like they have bad weather either.
No. It's okay. I came up with what I think is a better premise than them being in this like hardcore birding competition. Also, sorry, not enough old people in this competition.
Agreed.
That's all I'll say. But the better premise for me is that he has already started the work on his business, and he needs like a guinea pig. They can still do the fake dating thing, but she's his guinea pig, and then it makes sense that they stay local. It makes sense that they only go out at 7 on a Saturday. It makes sense that, all that they go in her backyard, which I think is a really cool and fun idea for a beginner birder, not for a birding competition, which you have staked your like professional livelihood on.
Well, that would make way more sense if it was like she signed up for a learn how to backyard bird class, because that's kind of his whole thing, and she wants to try new things and get out of her comfort zone, and then they fall in love that way. That would have been a very simple solution.
Thank you, Delaney.
Hey, and I'd still read that version too.
I still want more birds.
I would have liked it better.
Yeah,
because I came up with it.
Yeah. Then okay, so the trivia night.
Okay, I'm sorry. They're adding points to your total for random crap, like winning trivia.
It's community building.
I would rage. This is a birding competition. You're telling me I get more birds than these fuckers, and then they win trivia and they get 5 points extra than me? If I was 4 birds down or up from them, ooh, there'd be hell to pay. Okay.
Especially since she wins it because of the poem line.
I actually kind of did like that.
I thought I was like, ooh.
I feel like a lot of birders wouldn't get it.
It's true. It is a weird premise that they have the extra events. It's like whoever's designing it, the event, the author, but like in world, the event is not Maria. It is some intern who has an Instagram account. I know, Marissa, you don't like friends with benefits, fake dating plot lines. I love fake dating plot lines.
Fake dating
and
sucks. It's not for me.
I love fake dating, which is again, I think why I get through this book. I'm like, this is dumb and fun. I love it because it's ridiculous and not real. It's just impossible. And unless you're in like 10th grade, like otherwise it never happens in real life. You know what I mean?
Because it's dating. What do you mean fake dating?
Exactly. Yes.
They're real dating.
I like the delusion. I enjoy it. And the fact that they like had this big like grandeur kiss for like the show of it all, I'm like, you guys are delusional and I love it. It's stupid.
Next chapter is basically them just like, oh, well, we're just gonna like get it out of our system. I'm like, okay,
Again, delusional. Delusional.
sure.
Yeah, and
That
then this like middle section of the book is this going from sex scene to sex scene. Again, it's a romance book. It's part of the genre. It's delusional. They sometimes talk
I
about
wanted
birds.
to crawl up in myself and die. Because I don't like these characters. I'm not a prude. I read all 6 Game Changers books in 2 weeks, okay?
You just don't like the fake dating delusion.
I don't like these 2 characters, and therefore reading about them having sex, which again is so out of characterization for John. I'm sorry,
Yes.
this like no motivation, lacks ambition, doesn't have a lot of sexual experience. Guy is now a fucking
Super
punk.
introvert.
except the bird mentor Linda alluded to the fact that he was thorough early on.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how she knows this. What does that mean?
That is gross.
And why is she making that comment? There's a lot of that.
Is weird. Is really a weird thing, but she does like put that out there.
Mhm.
Yeah, I also felt like this was like we had this book that was happening, and then all of a sudden they're like, we're birders with benefits, and then it just like really a lot happens fast.
Mm-hmm.
It was like a very slow build, and then we're just like rushing through the rest of it. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah, it is just, it's so weird. And again, I agree, like the like all the like sexual stuff, it's like that doesn't make sense for John's character. Also, okay, let's talk about his bedposts for a second. So he
Why
has
is there a
carved.
pineapple?
Why is there a pineapple?
What?
Exactly. Like the other things make sense. He's like carved a bird, like a tree or whatever, like sure, a feather or whatever. I forget what the third one is. But one's a pineapple, which is, known for a sign of swingers.
And he said there for practice, who's asking you for pineapple bedposts?
Swingers. That
There's
makes
a
sense.
market.
Swingers.
There's a market. Yeah. But
Yeah, that's actually, I mean, honestly, if you could tap into that market as a carpenter, you're
That's
making
true,
good money.
actually. Yeah, they probably need new
That's-
beds all the time.
True.
or custom beds.
Yes,
Yeah, really
yes.
strong, but sturdy beds.
Mhm, mhm. With pineapples.
Yeah, but like, it's just so odd that that was included of all the fruit that the author could have written there. It's also a very difficult fruit to carve. Why not an orange? That's a circle.
An orange? It wouldn't be identifiable, Janessa.
Yeah, you could put like, I don't know, the little like twig and like the little like navel. I don't know. It'd be easier to know than the pineapple, or to make than the pineapple.
Girl.
Yeah, it would be a sphere.
Okay, a
that
pear.
is-
How about that?
That would
Okay,
be
fair.
identifiable.
Sorry, I looked at my
for
fruit basket and
Genovia.
all I have is oranges.
A pair
That's
for
right.
Genovia.
Okay, tie-in. He's
Oh.
making the bed for Grandmere. Yes.
Lordy, goodness. Just the Halloween party.
Okay,
Okay.
listen. Now, Janessa, I'm looking at you here, okay? If you
Yes.
come into my house
Uh-huh.
and you go into a coat closet,
I would never do that.
I know you wouldn't, but
Thank
I
you.
don't know Delaney. We've never met in person.
She wouldn't do that either.
And I don't know Delaney's husband, and I know your fucking fiance, okay? And you are like dry humping, like 12-year-olds
And a
playing
coat
7 minutes in heaven. You get the hell out of my house. You get out.
Like Maria seems supportive, but also okay, can I just make a note? I loved when because he's Indiana Jones,
Mm-hmm.
and he's like, just imagine me with a whip. And she goes, I don't think I will. I was like, I love this character so much.
Yeah. Maria being an icon yet again.
Yes.
So
We love
funny.
Maria.
Love
Yeah.
Maria.
And the fact that their costumes were Indiana Jones and Hypatia, whatever her face, like I was so upset. I was like, you could have gone in such a like goofy couples costume way as someone who loves a theme. Like, if you were going by yourself, that's a great costume, whatever. You went full for it, sure. But you have a partner now, and you're purposely fake dating, or you're trying to put on this show. And your teacher friends, not Maria who knows the truth, but your other teacher friends who are on that bitchy spectrum are gonna be asking questions. And you don't go as a couple's costume? Doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Like she should have been like a gem. So it'd be Indiana Jones and the gem that he's trying to like search in the jungle for or
The
something,
head.
you know?
The head
Exactly.
that he takes
The
off
crystal
the thing and
skull. Yeah.
or snake.
Yeah.
Because he's
Oh,
afraid of
nice.
snakes.
Nice. That's a hero.
She could be the
Yes.
villain to his villain.
Yes.
And
Yes.
to act like she wouldn't, like, she's someone that of course would be great at that. Like
Yes.
everything about her character, she would have a list already of couples costumes that Peter wouldn't have done with her. And then she's like, "Oh, I always wanted to do this because I think it'd be so fun." And then John is like the good guy, and so he's like, "Of course I'll do that with you."
Mhm.
Easy.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. As someone who likes costumes and a theme, I was disappointed, especially since she's so over the top already.
Yes.
Disappointed.
This is also like an ongoing thing.
Mhm.
And Janessa, you know how I feel about Manic Pixie Dream Girls.
Yes.
Like, they're just not my favorite trope.
Mhm.
But this is like an ongoing thing where it's like, oh, we love to see every year how Celeste comes and like, you know, throws a wrench into the theme,
Mhm.
whatever. Like when, like in the 80s theme party, she
Yeah.
came to like an Oxford Dictionary entry or something
Mhm.
because it was written
Yeah.
in the 1880s. I'm like, that's pretty fun.
Yeah.
I don't mind that.
Yeah.
But where's
No.
that creativity now?
Exactly. I think she just wanted to look hot in a toga, which lame.
There's many ways to do that. You could go as
Yeah.
a Greek goddess. Like,
Yeah.
Well, her
Artemis
Greek
Fowl.
goddesses, you could go the hero or villain, probably.
Yeah.
her costume felt like it was like she was invited to this last minute
Mhm.
and not something that she knew about well in advance because it happens every year.
Yeah. And it's her best friend's
Mhm.
party, so she's known the theme since her best friend thought of it for sure.
Yeah.
And she's just too busy fucking the guy with the pineapple thing.
I also have in here at chapter 20, this is starting to become less and less about birds.
It's with benefits.
That's so true. But she'll like throw in like a random bird mention, like a sentence that contains a bird, like,
Mhm.
oh, he moaned like a mockingbird or some bullshit like that. And I'm like, I'm gonna die now. It's just that reminder, like, hey, remember there's birding in the title.
Mhm.
Okay.
I can't decide if I enjoy that they called it birding with benefits or if I don't like that they did.
Oh, that they said it in the book.
Yes.
Yeah.
I haven't decided.
She said the thing.
She's I'm not sure what I believe, but I have an opinion. I just haven't landed it yet. But anyways,
I consulted my friend Ben, who's one of the best birders I know, and he was like, because he and his field crew read this together, like out loud, chapter by chapter, like a couple years ago. Yes. He was like, I cannot wait to hear your thoughts.
That's so funny.
But he was like, it's crazy because if they were like actually doing these like hardcore birding competitions, all the sex scenes would be like them behind a wastewater treatment plant.
Mhm.
So actually, I'm kind of glad they didn't do that.
Yeah.
Yes. Or it would be at a very well-trafficked park.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the outhouse.
Yeah, by the dump.
By the dump, by
Gross.
trash cans.
By trash cans.
eventually they go on like that like a camping trip or like for a far off area. They leave like their local area, right? And they run into that guy Dan who was like super successful and like travels to talk about birds and lecture and stuff. And uh like this like sparks like an argument between Celeste and John. And like I don't think I don't know the argument again, it felt so forced because we've heard so little from John about his want to actually start this business, to actually put effort towards it. And Celeste is not even being the pushiest she's ever been in this book at this point. She's like barely mentioning it just because it was like it brought up because this guy that John knows, not her, brought it up. And like this whole explosion, I was just like, this is like just someone's ego needs to go to therapy.
There's like so many things about like he is so underwritten. It is criminal. And it's like I don't even remember what part of the book it is, but he like he makes a or like we're in his POV and he makes a comment like, "Oh, I had never really considered what like actually like birding for a job would be like." And I'm like, "Then what the hell have you been doing? This is what you want to do."
Say
Yeah.
I read this like I the first time I read this book like last year, I just had the ebook. This time I did a mix of audiobook and ebook. They read it, it's a woman's voice and then a man's voice, which totally caught me off guard the first time. I was like, why is a man read? Oh, right, because it's POV. So it is kind of interesting because then you're getting it where it's more of like you're hearing from both characters. In some ways I liked it, in some ways I don't know. But it threw me off that a man started reading this all of a sudden. I was like,
Because he
what
doesn't
is
exist,
happening?
basically. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's also because of the backstory of him dropping out of grad school. It's like, okay, you like leaving grad school, you're like, okay, I'm leaving science and in this world, birds, kind of essentially, behind. And so it's understandable to have a big like block with starting this business, but they just didn't talk about it enough. Because we hear
Mhm.
so much about why Celeste got divorced and about how her husband didn't care about her as a romantic partner and barely as a parenting partner.
Like
Like,
didn't like her. Like he did
yeah,
not like her.
yeah. And we hear about that so much, which like I think it just comes off as the author's like this cathartic writing, which is fair and valid, but also for the story's craft, it's just like, okay, we get it, men suck. We don't have to convince us that men suck. Like, come on.
Yeah, I
Like,
live in the world.
yeah. The stories leading up to the big gala to when they find out. Also, I had a question about this. If this, so these birders would be tracking this on an app, probably some special app that this competition has, but also they would use eBird probably. I mean, it's app as in like a tracker.
Certainly. Certainly.
Certainly, yeah, right, eBird. And so I'm like, okay, wouldn't they know who has the most amount of birds because they could just look on each other's. I don't know how eBird works. Can you look at each other's profile or can
Yes,
you just like
unless
see?
they were, you can make stuff private.
Yeah.
So
Mm,
But they are not
it's like they
using
have
that,
some,
as far as I
yeah.
can tell. They don't
right.
Well, yeah.
mention
Don't mention it.
they like carry physical field guides, which is odd to me as like for a beginner, I would say like Merlin is your best bet because it's so like quick and fast and you can do like it narrows it down for you instead of like like I don't know like I
Hmm.
can get through my physical field guide quickly because I know what section I need to go to. But like if you don't know if that's a finch or a sparrow, that's they're very far apart in the in the field guides. So like yeah, it's just weird to me. There's
Yeah.
and I was like, when was this book written? Okay, not far enough back, like not like 20, 12 or
It
something.
was
Yeah.
during the pandemic, basically, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Which makes a lot of sense of why she's writing this book in general.
sure. Good for
But
you, girl.
they're leading up to this gala where they're like not supposed to know how many birds everyone has seen. And also before then, we know that it's also the night of the art exhibition for her daughter. And like, I thought it was gonna be a big like conflict of which one are you gonna go to. She ends up going to both. It works out, which I'm like, okay, that is kind of real life. You can figure out your time management if you're an adult.
Yeah.
But also like, you know, the lead up of the drama is, they're burdening with benefits, it's ending, and they're like not talking about their feelings about how they're both in love with each other. And then we have the daughter, Morgan, finally telling her, like, hey, I'm gay and also I'm not going to college and I'm going to California with my partner and you can't do anything about it kind of situation. And it happens so quickly that, but also gets like solved so quickly, and I was like, if you're gonna follow the tropes of fake dating, this section needs to be longer. You need to have the miscommunication be a bigger thing. You need to have more hurt feelings. It's not just two people who don't know how to say, I like you for real, not for fake.
Just like, also, like, we see her conflict with Morgan, which again we've talked about, I think is totally shoehorned in.
Yeah.
But we like that's just like, okay, and now everything's good. It's like we don't see Celeste like work through any of that, and like what basically, like, Celeste doesn't want Morgan to go off to LA with her partner because Celeste like gave herself up to
Hmm.
her first marriage, or her
Hmm.
only marriage, I suppose. But and she's like, "Oh, well, that's what love does to people." And I'm like, "Okay, maybe
You would
that
think
might happen, or maybe Morgan was like present and there for all of this stuff."
Hmm.
you
Yeah,
would think that she would be able to like recognize that she's projecting her conflicts with relationship onto her daughter and her relationship. Like she seems pretty insightful about certain things, but then not that. I'm like,
Yeah. Again, it's the whole like Celeste is the person that has all these post-its on her mirror, but has never been to therapy.
I mean, on a teacher's salary, we don't, with
Hey.
with her health care, I don't know, maybe that's her therapy. But yeah.
Yeah, it's like, okay, her and John both need to go to therapy, like desperately to get over their issues. Uh, all that to say, I do like how the story ends. I thought it was very like the thing, the sign thing. I thought it was very Marissa does not like. I could tell by her
I have a
voice.
note.
I'm sure you do. But it's like it's very like Love Actually, where they hold up the signs and it says call John and like, or listen to yourself, call John, and like it's far away. And I thought that I don't like that Morgan did it because your child should not be fixing your relationship. That's weird. And that's very like Rory and Lorelai, but like not in the good way.
Yes.
Which is definitely what the author is trying to do. Um, but I just like the idea of looking through binoculars at someone holding signs. I love.
Not for like an apology. I'm sorry. I just like I wrote, can everyone grow up and use words out of their mouth and have normal human reactions and behaviors? This isn't a promposal. Like,
But sometimes those are fun.
no, but this is like an apology. That is so like hokey jokey, like, oh, look how quirky I am. No, fuck you. Like, use your human words.
It's very cheesy. I mean, it kind of fits the book, like with some of the other cheesy stuff. Uh,
Yeah,
I will give
it's
it to you that it
cheesy.
fits the
do,
book.
do I think this relationship is going to work long term? Probably not.
No,
If they get therapy, maybe.
maybe. Yeah.
Their lack of communication drives me bonkers. Like, you, because Janessa, you mentioned this, like, she's writing these characters who
Hmm.
are older, like, purposefully, but
Hmm.
they're still falling into these same, like, tropes and, like, miscommunications that a pair of 20-year-olds would do, 24-year-olds,
Hmm.
whatever. Like, it's like, okay, so why didn't you write them that age if they're not
As
going to have
yeah,
any like emotional growth?
Well,
yeah.
and yeah, it like she writes about they have this great communication, like in parts of the relationship, at least with sex. I don't know, maybe nothing
Mhm.
else. But there's
Mhm.
like, okay, so you can communicate about that, but then like, but the feelings, I don't know.
Yeah. It, yeah, it is a silly, goofy book and not well written, obviously, but like, does it make sense that it was turned into a Hallmark movie? Absolutely.
Oh,
Uh-huh.
absolutely. And props to
Yeah.
the author, because
Yeah.
girl,
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, what else were you going to do with this? Like turn it into 50 Shades of Grey, but birding? Like,
okay,
what
now
were you
we're
gonna do with
talking.
Okay, would I watch that? Yes. But I want more birds in it. I want to see a list. And that's my biggest thing is there should have been a running list of like, here's what we have. I want to know the species.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Instead of the
Why?
days.
Yes.
Hmm.
I want a whole page and it can be like tiny font and I want to see all the birds.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then it would give me another thing to criticize. Thank you,
Exactly.
Delaney.
Because you could be like, that's unlikely. Or like you would have seen way more of those. And
Hmm. Yeah.
That would be fun too, like a running list at the end of each chapter where they see birds. I don't need an update every chapter that they've
yeah.
seen no birds since the like 5 chapters previous.
Yes,
Mhm.
literally
That just made me
5
mad.
chapters. I'm like, what are you guys doing? I know each other, but like, but not even that much. Like, it's like I needed more sex scenes or I needed more birds, but there was just like, what is happening? Neither of these things. Yeah.
What
Yeah.
are you doing with your time if not one of these two things that are in the title?
The title. We're not doing either of them. Like, they're like, oh, I'm too busy like doing this stuff. We got to schedule this in. What is this book about?
Vibes.
Not good ones for me.
I don't really have many fun facts about the book. I do know a lot about the author because she's very active on Instagram. She's cool. I mean, not a good author, sorry, the book, but like she's a
This book, we
librarian.
don't know.
Yeah, we don't know. I do have the second book. Now we can update anyone who wants to know, but that's not Marissa because she said no earlier.
That's okay.
Well,
I'm good.
okay.
Thank you, though.
I'm a little confused though. Was there not a mention of another book? Like at the end of the ebook, there is a start of another book, but then that book doesn't exist.
No, because that one she was writing that one, and then when she was writing that, she discovered this other story and ditched that bit and went to this one.
Okay.
No, the next
I was
one
very
is
confused.
Honey Be Mine.
Is this connected? Is this like an interconnected, like Abby Jimenez kind of thing?
I don't think so. The names don't look familiar. There's a Penny and a Xander.
Nope.
Yeah. Like the bees she keeps, Penny Becker lives by the golden rule. Never stop working.
That's the golden rule. What?
Uh-huh.
I think I learned a different golden rule.
Yeah. But I'm interested. I will read it. Oh, and the male main character, reformed bad boy turned restaurateur.
So he had a drug problem?
Probably. I mean, that checks out.
Or he like vandalized a building
Yeah.
one time.
One time.
Yeah. But yeah, Sarah T. Dubb is really she's a librarian and she does a lot of activism work for abortion access. She's been organizing a lot of protests, anti-ICE protests and running like fundraising stuff that. So she's a really cool lady. But we'll see how the second book goes. You know. I'm so excited to watch the Hallmark movie. I do know that she had nothing, like she sold the rights when she sold the book. Like she was like, whoever wants it, I'm not going to have anything to do with it. And she found out, like when they announced the movie to the world, that's when she found out. So like,
see, I will say I am not excited. Okay, I'm excited in that like I love a bad movie. Like my sister and I have a tradition where we try to find the absolute worst Hallmark or whatever off-brand Christmas romance movies and we watch them and then we laugh. So I'm excited in that way, but I'm like, I know this is going to be so bad. I just know. I mean, I'm trying to go in with open mind, but it's going to be so bad.
We got to make a list. We should, before the next episode, make bets, like a bingo board of like how many CGI birds are we going to see? How many
wrong
you know what I mean?
species? Wait, so
Yeah.
Delaney, have you seen the poster for the movie?
Okay, so the way I know about this is I got an ad on Instagram and I texted Janessa and I said, I'm sorry, is this that? And she said, yes, that is they made a movie. So I have seen pictures and I did watch the trailer.
Okay.
Mhm.
Good.
So I know it does not look like Arizona.
Well, in the movie poster, it's two varied thrushes. So if they are in
Yes.
Arizona, we already have a fucking problem.
I did notice, I was like, I know that bird. That was like
It's
the first bird
it's
I ever identified was a very
two
thrush.
males. And
Well,
they're about 2 times too small, and they're sitting in their hands like this. So
so we should also have like a bingo of like a wrong bird species for whatever our setting is. Like
That's
this
not
is
fair.
like,
I don't know birds.
well, okay, but you can look up the range.
I'm not gonna
you
do
don't even know
that.
the birds to.
Yeah. I
We
know a lot of
very
Alaska
thrush.
birds.
Yeah.
I know Alaska birds that are bigger than my head.
I
Yeah,
will say
but
I'm watching it tonight because I gotta just get it over with.
get it over with.
It's gotta be over.
Get through it.
I have to.
Yeah.
This part of my life needs to be passed. Yeah, I definitely. Do you guys want me to come up when I watch it tonight? Come up with something like
I say let's make maybe not a bingo board because 25 things is a lot for a Hallmark movie.
oh, no problem. I guarantee you, no problem for me.
Okay. I think we should do a bingo board because that also would make a great Instagram post.
Okay,
Yes.
great.
And you
I
can
will
post
make a
because you
bingo
can
board.
post the bingo board for other people. The other thing I thought is like you could make a drinking game. I'm not drinking at the moment, but I
Mhm.
feel like you could make a drinking game, but you'd have to do it after you watch it, like just to know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can also do that.
I will make it. I will make both of
Yeah.
those things.
Yeah.
Um,
We can do that.
I want to know like are they going to put any like steamy scenes or is this going to be the most like G-rated Christian sort of
Hallmark has been getting
vibe?
slightly spicier lately
No?
on their non-Christian based plots.
Okay.
but they changed the title, right? It's
Yes,
like
they did.
love
Birding
and
and Love or Love and Birding.
Love and birding.
adventures and birding
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
The Adventures in Love and Birding. Is that what
There
it
you
is?
go.
Okay, yes.
Which
I
is such a
think they'll
lame
do if they
title.
do anything, it'll be a fade to black.
Oh, for
Like,
sure. Which is spicy
will the
for
pineapple
Hallmark.
bedpost make an appearance?
That is going on the bingo board for sure.
Fingers crossed.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I am also excited to watch it because I won't know much of the bird drama because
I think you'll pick some up because when
I'll pick
this came
some
out,
up.
when the movie came out, the like because because my Instagram is so curated, well now it's kind of thrown to shit, but
It's all
now it's
hockey.
just heated rivalry
Yeah.
and female hockey players.
Yes. Same.
But because before heated rivalry came out, my page was like birds and dogs doing funny stuff, and that's basically it.
And whatever I post.
And whatever Janessa posts, of course, and and books. That's usually what
Yeah.
yeah, I got a ton of content of people like birders reacting
Hmm.
to the movie. So I already know, like, I already got some ideas for what's going on
Hmm.
that bingo board.
Yeah.
Can't
I
wait.
I also I forgot I had a note in here because like he's like woodworking, right? That's
Hmm.
like his thing. And then there's like kept being these like really cheesy like innuendo jokes. The fact that Taylor Swift's song would
Hmm.
didn't exist, I feel like it would fit this book so
It
well of
would.
just the like forced innuendos and the like
It
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 it would
yes.
fit. It would fit so well. But it was
And Celeste is definitely a Swiftie.
she's a Swiftie and that she like makes a reference to this song that then he's like, what? And she's like, oh. And then
Yep.
he's a Swiftie.
Yep.
I know you said at the end the boards was
Hmm.
Love Actually, but maybe it's because of Beach Read, but like anybody holds up a sign, I'm like, oh, it's You Belong to Me.
You belong with me.
Whatever that
Yes.
song name is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. There's Taylor Swift coded stuff in here so much.
And
Yeah,
you know
it's
it's
everywhere.
obvious if I pick it up.
If Marissa, who's avoiding at all costs, knows
Yes.
it.
Yes. No, you're right. Like I'm glad you said that because that's exactly what it reminded me of.
Definitely. Yeah. Well, thank you both for reading this inaccurate bird book.
You're welcome.
Yes, yes.
I will be sending my lawyers your way.
If you're ever in Alaska, go on out to sea. You can see seabirds with someone who
Maybe.
actually knows about birds. You'll see seabirds. You'll see at least
We will
seagulls.
see birds of some kind. Yes.
You'll see seagulls and probably eagles.
Gulls.
Lots of gulls. Mhm.
That's right. That's right, Delaney.
Sorry.
You better
I
believe
forget
the
there's
second
more
I
than one
step
type.
foot in Alaska, I'm going out to sea with friggin' Delaney.
Mhm.
I would actually love that. I would love to have you guys come birding with us. That'd be so fun.
Thank you very much for listening. Make sure you follow us on Instagram at Read the Book First Podcast. Follow us on your preferred podcast platform. Rate us 5 stars. If it's not 5 stars, don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
And remember, read the book first.